Hello, everyone. Bom dia. Feliz domingo. How was the first week of work? I know you had a lot of work. I am aware that you were doing a lot of exercises. But that's the way this course is going to be. I understand that sometimes the students have a lot of classes and they want to take these classes or learn Portuguese and they think, okay, I'm just going to take it online and asynchronous is going to be easier than coming to class. Actually, I would say it's the opposite because, as I mentioned last class, an asynchronous language class requires a lot of self-teaching, as you may have noticed already. Yeah, I don't want to discourage you from taking this class. I would like for you to stay in this class, but you need to be aware that this class will demand a lot of work and self-teaching. I'm going to try to help as much as you can, as much as I can, of course. Um, I really want you to learn. I really want you to succeed. Yeah. Okay. So regarding the assignments that you were doing, I want to go over this particular exercise. Exercise 27. Muito prazer. Hmm? I listened to most of you already, and I found some common mistakes that I would like to go over right now. So the first expression that you heard was Eu me chamo Marcos e você? Como você se chama? By now you probably already noticed that this letter E that doesn't have an accent mark is always pronounced E. E. Eu me chamo Marcos e você? And it always means and. Different from this accented E. The accented E means is, like my name is Marcin. And the pronunciation is very different. This is open E. Meu nome é Marcin. So now we're seeing the difference between not accented E versus accented E. Eu me chamo Marcos e você? Meu nome é Martin. Okay? Como você se chama? You could have answered, eu me chamo Martin or meu nome é Martin. Both ways are perfectly correct. There are two ways of saying my name is, no? Or literally the first, the first sentence kind of means I call myself Martin. Now that's how we say it in Spanish as well. Me llamo, right? Eu me chamo Martin. Okay. Muito prazer. That was the second expression. Some of you chose to say, which is perfectly correct, o prazer é todo meu. But many times I heard, o prazer é todo mío. O prazer é todo mío. No, o prazer é todo meu. Meu. The pleasure is all mine, right? O prazer, zzz. O prazer é todo meu. Mhm. And several of you chose to say likewise, no? And you pick the second option, which is perfectly correct as well. But many times I heard igualmente, igualmente. And let me remind you that L's at the end of words or at the end of syllables are always pronounced as U. So this word likewise would be igualmente, igualmente. You can tell that TE at the end sounds like chi, no? Igualmente. Mhm. Then, there were lots of issues with number three. The sentence said, or the person said, Oi, meu nome é Ana. Você é Joana? Você é a Joana? Are you Joanna? Hi, my name is Anna. Are you Joanna? Você é a Joanna? Of course, you had to start your answer with no, because you are not Joanna. So você é Joana? Não, 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 no. You could have said anything, but always started with no, because you're not Joanna. So, no, you could have said no. Eu não sou a Joana, eu me chamo Martin. Or simply, não, eu me chamo Martin. Or não, meu nome é Martin. But you have to say that you're not Joanna, that's the first thing. No, 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 nasal, right? Because of this nasal A. And then number four was the same. No? Muito prazer. O prazer é todo meu. Meu, not mio. O prazer é todo meu. Igualmente. I just wanted to go over this very quickly because I want to help you with the pronunciation, of course. Now, let's talk about the first individual presentation. I'm going to give you here all the instructions and all the phrases that you have to say. It's going to be easy. Yeah, it's not going to be complicated. You will see. So, when you give this presentation, you have to look into the camera. Of course, you studied your lines, you memorize most of it, but you're allowed to use note cards or to, of course, look at the computer and just use your note cards to help you remember your train of thought. But what you cannot do is read completely the sense. I can tell. When you present, I can tell if you're reading or if you're just looking into the camera, talking to me and telling me about yourself. Yeah? Again, you're allowed to use or read note cards just to help you remember the words that's going to trigger the sentence that you want to say, but you can't read the whole thing. That would be bad. Remember that there's no exams here. In this course, there's two oral exams, yes, but the presentations are important because they have a lot of weight in your final grade. So let's take a look at the individual presentation one. I hope you get really, really, really high grades because it's not too complicated. It's not complicated, you will see. There will be two parts for this presentation. The first part will be in Portuguese and the second part will be in English. In Portuguese, you have to provide the following information. You have to greet me and say your name. You have to say where you are and what time it is at the moment. You have to say where you are from and how old you are. You have to say when your birthday is. You have to say what your major is at the university. You have to tell me a couple of hobbies that you do in your free time, and you have to tell me about your family members. You think, what? How am I going to say that? I don't know. I will show you. I will teach you right now how to do it. And then after you're done with the Portuguese part, you're going to tell me in English because I would like to know you a little better. So you're not going to tell me the reason why you're taking Portuguese because you want to go to Brazil, you want to study in Brazil, you want to go to Portugal, you have lots of Brazilian friends. I don't know. What's the reason? Then what's your expectation? What are your expectations with the language? Would you like to be able to speak mainly? Would you like to be able to read mainly? Would you like to be able to do everything, write letters, write emails in Portuguese? Would you like to be able to translate it? What are your expectations with the language? You would like to learn Portuguese because you want to travel to Brazil and you want to live with a family? I don't know. I would like to know that. That's interesting to me. Spanish background. I would like to know if you are a native Spanish speaker. I would like to know if you learn Spanish at home. I would like to learn if you still speak Spanish with your parents. I would like to know if you learned Spanish in high school or if you just don't speak Spanish. And then anything you would like to tell me, whatever you want to tell me, any extra information that you would like to tell me about yourself, about your, oh, I really need to be in this course. I don't know, whatever you want to tell me. This is my last year. I don't know. Yeah, so anything. Okay, let's go over the Portuguese part. How are you going to tell me all these things? I have everything prepared for you and I will post this document. Greeting and name. Depending on the time of when you're doing this, you're going to tell me bom dia, boa tarde, or boa noite, Professor Martin. Bom dia. We went over these final M. Final M's are never They are always like an N. Bom dia. In this case, you're noticing that it's not bom, but oh, bom dia, oh, bom dia, bom dia, boa tarde. DE at the end sounds like G. We learned that boa tarde, boa noite, Professor Martin. And then you tell me your name, you already know this. Eu me chamo, whatever, or meu nome é whatever, no? Current location and time. Current location and time. You're going to tell me, now I am in Fullerton, Los Angeles, whatever you are, San Diego, whatever you are. So you're going to say, agora estou em Fullerton. Agora estou. We're going to learn later, or well now, that final S's can be pronounced two different ways depending on where you are from. Like Estou. Most areas in Brazil, they say estou, like an S. But in Rio de Janeiro and in Portugal, final S's are like shh, like SH sound. So in Rio de Janeiro, if you're interested in going to Rio, in Rio they say estou. Agora estou em Fullerton. In other parts of Brazil, agora estou em Fullerton. Em. It's like EIN, em Fullerton, em Los Angeles, etc. Wherever you are. So agora estou em Fullerton, and then you tell me the time. And it's 1:30, and it's 2:15, and it's 4:20, whatever time it is at the moment you're telling me this. Yeah? Let me remind you how to say time. If the hour is one, like 1 hour, 1 a.m. or 1 p.m., you say it is singular. I'm saying, and it's one and a half, 1:30. A uma e meia. A uma e meia, and it's 1:30. If you're telling me that the time at the moment of your presentation is 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, whatever time in plural, so not 1, 2, 3, 4, you don't say you say são, and they are 2 and 15. So if the hour is 2 or 3 or 4, we don't say it is. I mean, in Portuguese, you say they are because it's plural. So, and they are 2 and 15. They are 4:20. Yeah? So just for pronunciation, agora estou em Fullerton e é a uma e meia e são as 2:15 e são as 4:20. Depending on the time you're going to tell me, you're going to use the correct time. Yeah? Okay. Then you tell me where you're from and how old you are. Super simple. If you're going to mention a city, it's just eu sou de Los Angeles, or eu sou de Fullerton, or eu sou de Santa Ana, or eu sou de San Diego. So if it's a city, you just say G. G Los Angeles, G Fullerton, G Santana, G San Diego. But if you're going to tell me a country, look at this. Countries always have the article, o México, o Peru, a Colombia, a Argentina. So in Portuguese, you say the Mexico, the Peru, the Colombia, the Argentina. Colombia and Argentina are feminine nouns, feminine countries. Yeah? So that's why when you say I am from Mexico, you would say eu sou do México. Do, because it's the combination of the preposition G, from, and the article O, the. I am from the Mexico. So do means from the, because again, countries in Portuguese use the article the. Masculine o, feminine a. Eu sou do México, eu sou do Peru, eu sou da Colômbia, eu sou da Argentina. Of course, you're just going to tell me one sentence here, no? If you're going to mention a city, G. If you're going to mention a country, do or da, depending on the gender of the country. How do you know the gender of the country? If the country ends in an A, like Colombia, Argentina, it's going to be feminine. Otherwise, it's going to be masculine, like Chile, o Chile. And then you tell me your age, no? And I am how many years, no? Old you are. Again, tenho literally means I have, because in Portuguese, like in Spanish, you have years on you. You are not years old. You have years on you. I have 20 years old. I have whatever number here, yeah? You can do this. So far, so good. You see, it's not complicated. Very simple sentence. I'm telling you exactly what to say. Birthday. O meu aniversário é dia. That's how they say. My birthday, by the way, in Portuguese, é aniversário. Happy birthday, feliz aniversário. Uhum. O meu aniversário, as you can see in Portuguese, when they say my or his or her or their or our, when we use these possessives, in Portuguese, they also use the article, which doesn't make sense in English. So literally, we're saying the my birthday, the my birthday. It doesn't happen in Spanish, so it could be a little confusing, but we are gonna have to get used to saying the her car, the his house, the their pet, whatever. When you use a possessive, you use an article in front of it, unless you're talking about family members. We'll go over that in a second. But to say my birthday, you have to say the my birthday. O meu aniversário é dia, and then you tell me the number and then the month. My birthday is on January 16th. So, o meu aniversário é dia 16 de janeiro. In your book, you have the numbers, you have the months. And in my previous video, I help you with the pronunciation of the months. So all you have to do here is just substitute the number and the month for your correct number and month. But pronunciation, o meu aniversário é dia, number G, month. Major. It is important that you know how to pronounce your major in Portuguese and your school, Cal State University Fullerton. I'm going to help you with this. So, how do we say majors? How do you say, in English, you say, my major is this. In Portuguese, you say, I am a student of this field. So, you would have to say, sou estudante, G, for both boys and girls, you say estudante. Sou estudante, G, and then you tell me your major. You could say jornalismo, enfermagem, medicina, comunicações. These are just for examples, no? Journalism, nursing, medicine, communication. Here, you have to look it up. That's easy. Look it up, translate it, tell me your major in Portuguese. If it's super complicated, send me an email and I will tell you how to say your major in Portuguese. No problem at all. But if you can look it up, then easier for everyone. So you would say, sou estudante de, then the field, your major. And then you have to be able to say, listen to this, na Universidade Estadual da Califórnia em Fullerton. That's basic. When you meet a Brazilian for the first time, one of the first things you're going to tell him or her is what you do, where you go, where you study. So we need to know this name, no? Universidade Estadual, remember final L's, like a U, Estadual da Califórnia em Fullerton. Okay? You can do it. Then, hobbies in free time. You're gonna say, this should be back. You're gonna say, no meu tempo livre, livre with a V, yeah? No meu tempo livre, in my free time, gosto de, ó, gosto de. No meu tempo livre, gosto de. In my free time, I like to. And then you tell me two verbs. Here I have examples of four. Escutar música, música. S's in between vowels are always Z. Yeah? Escutar música, ler, assistir a televisão, zau, e jogar videojogos, These are just some examples of verbs. no? Listen to music, to read, watch TV, assistir a televisão, e jogar videojogos and play video games, no? These are just four verbs, examples. You have to come up with two. You could use some of these if they are true to you, or you can just look up some other two verbs that you do in your free time. No meu tempo livre, gosto de escutar música, ler, assistir à televisão e jogar videojogos. Just pick two or come up with other two. And finally, family members. This is the last thing. Yeah, family members. Na minha família, eu tenho 7 pessoas. That's just an example. In the my family, na, we will learn later that it means it's a combination of aim plus a. In the my family, well, in my family, na minha família, eu tenho sete pessoas. I have 7 people. You're going to tell me the number, no? In your family. And then you say who they are. Meu pai, minha mãe. So we're learning two ways of saying my dad, my mom. My matches the gender of the noun. Meu pai, meu, because pai is masculine. Minha mãe, my mom, minha, because my is feminine. So two ways of saying my. Meu or minha, depending on the gender of the following noun. Dois irmãos, dois irmãos e duas irmãs. I mentioned in my previous video that there are two ways of saying two in Portuguese. Two. You could say dois or duas, depending on the gender of the following noun, which is crazy, you know? In Spanish, we just have two brothers, two sisters, it's the same word, but in Portuguese, two could be two different words depending on the gender of the following noun. If you say two brothers, because brothers is masculine, you have to say dois. Dois irmãos, and two sisters, because sisters is feminine, then you have to use feminine too, which is duas. E duas irmãs. I'm going to tell you I'm going to read the full sentence again. Na minha família, eu tenho 7 pessoas. Meu pai, minha mãe, dois irmãos e duas irmãs. E eu, não? Eu, and I, e eu. Other examples. Irmão e uma irmã. Irmão. Look at that. It's like nasal U. That's all. It's like one sound. That's how you say, how you pronounce UM. It's like one sound. Nasal U. Irmão e uma irmã. If you have one brother and one sister. If it's 3 or 4, it's the same number for both boys and girls. No, there's no masculine 3 and feminine 3. No, it's only masculine 1, feminine 1, uma, masculine 2, dois, feminine 2, duas. But then from 3 to 9, it's the same number for both boys and girls, masculine and feminine. No? So, 3 irmãos e 4 irmãs. And then this is the last line. My grandma and my granddad. My grandmother and my grandfather. Look at this. You will learn, and you're learning right now, that Portuguese has 2 O's. Open O, and close O, O. Open O, like awesome, and closed O. Look at this, the word avó with an accent mark like that, like this. Avó uses the open O, avó, versus the other O that has this like kind of triangle accent. This is short O, close O, avô. Now notice the difference. Avó, avô. Avó, avô. As you can see from the possessive, minha is feminine. So minha avó means my grandmother. Meu is masculine. Meu avô means my grandfather. Avó, grandmother. Avô, grandfather. This could be a little difficult because we don't have two O's in Spanish, and I know that most of you speak Spanish. We just have one O in Spanish. But in Portuguese, there are two O's. Open O, and close O. Mhm. If in your family you live or you have your grandparents, then tell me. Also include your grandparents here, no, or your grandmother or grandfather, if it's part of your nuclear family, you live with them or your parents live with them. And then I'm adding a very cool video of a native speaker of Portuguese who is explaining how to pronounce O versus O. Mhm. That is all. You have all the lines here. All you have to do is prepare your text, try to practice the pronunciation, use this video to help you practice the pronunciation, and then memorize it. Memorize it's not too long, it's just a few sentences. Memorize it and use some note cards or use some on your computer some lines that are going to help you remember. But talk to me when you give this presentation. By the way, this presentation is only gonna be seen by me. So don't worry, I'm not gonna share it with nobody else. You're gonna send to me, and it's gonna be personal. You're gonna introduce yourself to me. Yeah. Again, you're gonna be telling me all this information. The first part in Portuguese, I just gave you all the sentences, and then this part in English where you tell me more about yourself in English. Yeah. I'm very excited to know each of you a little better. That's going to be very important for the dynamics of the course. And that is all. That is all. If you have any questions, please let me know. Send me an email, and then I will post the other video about the class with the book. Yeah. Okay. Até logo.